Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the Great Indian Bustard, which is a critically endangered bird species of India. So we are going to discuss in details what are the threats that these birds are facing, what are the protection measures that has been taken by the government of India, and what more can be done in this particular regard. So first of all, to understand this particular topic, to give you the brief context, the Supreme Court recently has basically asked the government, both the central government as well as state government of Rajasthan and Gujarat, that whether a focused approach somewhere on the line of Project Tiger. Project Tiger is very well known flagship scheme of Government of India, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, which focuses upon increasing the population of the tiger and conserving their habitat. So whether the same kind of approach can be taken for saving the critically endangered Great Indian Bustard or not. Not only that, recently also three GIB, that is Great Indian Bustards, have been sighted in the Cholistan desert of Pakistan. And after this sighting, the speculation was raised that these endangered birds who generally live in the states of Rajasthan, Gujarat, and the border regions of Pakistan might have flown across the international border from the Desert National Park of Rajasthan due to the shrink in their habitat. It is also considered as India's most critically endangered bird and is protected also under the Wildlife Protection Act of year 1972. Now, what is Great Indian Bustard? What we can understand about the Great Indian Bustard? So, most important point, which is relevant for examination perspective, UPSC prelims perspective, that is to remember is that the Great Indian Bustard has been given the status of the state bird of the state of Rajasthan. If you look at the overall dimension of this bird, these are very majestic, very large bird, standing somewhere about 1.1 to 1.2 meters tall and weighs somewhere about 15 to 18 kilograms. As far as their flying skills are concerned, they are not very great flyers and they have wide sideway vision to maximize predator detection. If you look at the overall population, the number of GIBs, why they are considered as critically endangered, obviously because their population has decreased drastically, and as of now total 150 birds are found alone in the state of Rajasthan, and this account for, you can understand, 95% of the total world population. So you can understand that how threatened this particular bird group is. If you look at some other important points about this particular bird, so as we can see that apart from the Rajasthan and Gujarat region, largely it is concentrated in some pockets of states such as Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. It also has input under the red list of IUCN, that is the International Union for Conservation of Nature. And the most important thing which you can remember is that Great Indian Bustard has also been proposed as a candidate for the National Bird of India and was under consideration for some period of time. And this is the heaviest birds, one of the heaviest birds that actually can fly. So this is about the particular bird. So the question comes that why the population of this bird is dwindling at such a higher rate, such a greater rate. What are the major threats that these birds have to face? So though there are several threats, the most potent threat that these birds have to face is due to the construction or laying down of the power transmission line. Basically what happens, as these birds are very heavy birds and when they start to fly, we have discussed they have wider anterior vision, they have wider we can say sideways vision, but as far as their frontal vision is concerned, it is very narrow. And that is why when the birds are flying, they are not able to see, they are not able to perceive the power transmission line, and by the time they realize that they are flying very close to this power transmission line, due to their heavy weight, they are not able to change their direction and thus undergo collision. So interestingly, it is not the electrocution that causes the death of these birds mostly. Largely, birds die due to the massive collision, a high-speed collision with the power transmission lines and the power networks. So this is the most potent threat that these birds are facing. However, some other threats are also there that are supplementing this major threat. The first example is that they are hunted mercilessly by the predators in the local areas such as fox, mongoose, crow, monitor lizards, Also, because the eggs of these birds are very, very rare, the meat of these birds are very, very rare. Hunting accidents and hunting incident also has been reported in nearby countries of Pakistan. Plus, since these birds live in a grassland kind of habitat, and as the population of India is increasing in the western states also, what we are seeing that large area of grassland basically are being converted into agricultural land. So that is also causing the shrinking or the loss of the habitat of these birds. Next, we can say the prevalence of pesticides, because as we are depending more and more on high yield variety of seeds, these seeds require high amount of pesticides, and when these birds graze upon this pesticide contaminated food, that also causes their death. Grazing pressure similarly, because a lot of animals graze in these grasslands and causes the loss of the habitat. Then plantation of shrubs and tree species in grassland, mainly to protect the or mainly to prevent the desertification process. Poor land use policies and overall all this contributing to the loss of habitat can be considered as a major threat which is causing decline in the population of this bird. If you look at the extent of population decline as far as the present figure is concerned, if you compare this with the data of 1969, almost 90% of decline in the population we can observe in the last 50 years. In 1969, population was 1,260. Then in 2011, it fell down to 250, and then less than 150 in the recently concluded census of 2019. The state-wise distribution of these birds are clearly mentioned here. As you can see, the largest number of birds are found in highest number of birds are found in Rajasthan, followed by Gujarat, Maharashtra, and then few birds here and there in Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. If you look at the graph, this is how we can see from 1969 to 2001, we have decline that was happening at slower rate. But if you look at from the 2001, from 2001 to 2019-20, we can see a very, very rapid and fast-paced decline is about to happen. So to protect these critically endangered birds, what kind of degree of protection they enjoy? So these birds enjoy a highest degree of protection both at the national as well as the international level. For example, if you talk about the legislation of India, under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, these birds are included in Schedule 1, which is the schedule that includes the most critically endangered species and provides them with the highest degree of protection, and anyone threatening or endangering these species are penalized with heavy fines as well as even they can be given jail term. Similarly, if you look at the other international worldwide convention of CITES, that is the Convention on International Trade of Endangered Species, they are included in Appendix 1, which is the highest protective category. On the other hand, IUCN has put them in the red list, and thus they are recognized as critically endangered. And also we can see from these three facts that they are enjoying highest degree of protection both in India and globally. However, at the local scale, some other major steps have been taken to increase the population of the GIB, or at least arrest the decline in population of GIBs. So, most important of these are the conservation breeding of the species. That means the eggs of Great Indian Bustards are taken, and the breeding is done. Basically, few birds are also taken, eggs are taken, and they are breeded in the captive breeding center. And the main purpose behind this is to build a captive population of GIBs so that later on the chicks can be released in the wild. However, the problem with this initiative is that it is not a short-term solution. The effect of this initiative will only be visible after at least 20 to 25 years, and given the rapid decline of population of Great Indian Bustard, we are not sure that whether we have so much time or not to make sure that bird do not become extinct in the wild. So, due to this reason, recently Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change also have decided to constitute a task force especially dedicated for the preservation and conservation of the Great Indian Bustard. Recently, another positive changes or positive decision has been taken where the Great Indian Bustard has been added to the world list of protected species under the CMS, that is the Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species of Wild Animal across the international border, which included all three kind of species: avian species, terrestrial species, as well as the marine species. Similarly, a conservation effort like Project Tiger, as the Supreme Court has raised a question rightly, many experts believe that the similar kind of project might not work for a large bird like GIB, because first of all they live in an arid area, and as the water increases here and there is change in the rainfall pattern, they can always fly out of the protected area. So to construct or build a protected area on the same line as that of a lion, which is a terrestrial animal, is going to be very, very difficult. And that is why we should focus on community-centric conservation of this particular endangered species. That is the best way forward. So I hope you understood about the issues related to Great Indian Bustard, what are the threats that they are facing, and what are the solutions that we might employ in the near future. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your fellow aspirants, as well as subscribe to our channel for more such helpful content. Thank you very much.